Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Tracy Jones of Tremendous Leadership. Catch me this week on the Tremendous Jesse T Show.
The mighty, the powerful, the amazing Dr. Tracy Jones. Welcome to the Jesse T Show.
Thank you, Jesse. It's an honor to be here.
It's a pleasure. I love you. I think you're amazing. I know you're amazing. You have a great life's journey. You have powerful influences in your life that have helped shape you and mold you into this amazing human being that you are today. And I just want to share a little bit of your journey. So if you could just share a little context and color of who you are.
Oh, I am a student of life. I tell people I'm a middle child that was raised by a father who was a motivational speaker. So that gives you a little bit of context. As a middle child, for all you middle children out there, we're the flexible ones. We're the, whatever happens, we like change. We're kind of adaptable. So I had that going for me, which is nice, right? Like Bill Murray and Caddyshack.
Oh yeah. Oh
Googa
yeah.
la googa from the top of the mountain. The other thing was my father was a motivational speaker. I tell people it was like a cross between boot camp and a sitcom. So I grew up as this guinea pig that was always sitting around phenomenal, successful, driven, good people and reading books. Like I earned my allowance by reading tremendous books and doing
Wow.
book reports. And you worked and there wasn't a lot of idle time. And he took the TVs out of the house when I was a teenager, right? Crazy. Can you imagine that today? Because that was the boob tube and you need to do stuff that really edifies your life. So I grew up with this outlook of there's no thumb sucking, you own everything, and you hang around tremendous people and tremendous books and you become a tremendous person. So that's the context of my life. Crazy, right?
It's beautiful, and it's something that we should aspire to in different areas. Is role modeling and setting the stage and creating the space for success. I mean, I want to hear about your dad and what he did, but also how was it for you in terms of as a kid? Were you, because obviously it makes sense for you now and you're happy that that happened, but were you bought in as a kid? Were you pissed off because you couldn't watch the boob tube, as you say? Like where was your headspace growing through these years? And like what was your function in terms of like, were you taking this message and deploying it right away, or was it something that came around later in life?
Great questions. Well, I really enjoyed it. I knew that to live a different life, you had to be different. So I always knew we were kind of peculiar, odd ducks, which is kind of why I always resonate with those people. Why be normal? Normal is boring. Okay. Like American Beauty. Nobody wants to be normal.
Nope.
And so I really did embrace it growing up. Not every kid did. Some of my other siblings, it didn't go over so well. So for the parents out there, you got to know the child and understand if this is going to resonate with this. But I was all in with my dad, and all I kept seeing was I want to grow up. I mean, I had a great childhood, but I was always excited about I want to be an adult and I want to go out and I do want to do great things and become a great leader and impact people's lives. So I was okay with not watching TV. There wasn't much going on, back then, and I did kind of buy into it. I really was not that into books. I did it, did his book reports, to earn money. But I didn't develop a real love of reading until much later on in life. But that's okay. The lessons were really great. He gave me really wonderful, positive role models. And it was fun because we would travel with him to his speaking engagements. He'd pack us all up in an RV with books, 6 kids, my mom, and in this VW pop-up camper. And one time we drove from Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, all the way down to Mexico City. So
Wow.
that was my summers. And so I always got to see great events with a lot of high energy people and cool places, Vegas, Disney World, Knott's Berry Farm. So we just didn't do a lot of idle things. Everything was very purposeful, but we got to see a lot of the world too. So it was a pretty cool upbringing. One of the things
Wow.
though, Jesse, he kept telling me was, Tracy, you have to go out and earn your stripes. And what that meant was you can't live in anybody else's shadow. And of course, I took it literally and went into the military, into the Air
Yes.
Force. You can see a little bit of my journey back there. But he really let me know, you know, don't fear trying new things and don't fear failure. Earn your stripes. And the harder, the better. And the harder you fall, the better your war story. So just get out there. So I went into the military and then I went into high volume manufacturing, the semiconductor industry. Then I went into defense contracting. Then I went into publishing. So, like I said, middle kid and just open that life is not about the outcomes, but really adapting to each and every way in a creative way. So that's kind of what he taught us.
That's a powerful lesson, and many lessons, not just a singular lesson. And that, for someone who's a seeker of information and experiences and thirsty for knowledge, today, that sounds like the dream childhood. But knowing myself when I was younger, I would have rebelled pretty much, and I would have. That's just who I was. Because I guess maybe I don't know if there's a book, Birth Order. I haven't read it yet, but I am the youngest, and I don't know
Oh, yeah.
if the youngest is the rebel, but I am.
Yes. Yes, they are. I married a youngest. They're definitely rebel. Yeah,
Yeah,
they are.
yeah. They can't tell me what to do unless I ask you to tell me what to do.
No, and you know what? That's a great point because for me, being in the military and being in big
Oh,
bureaucracies, I am very much. I didn't hone my entrepreneurial chops until my mid 40s. Now I sensed it because I'm very much. I'm an engineer by trade, so I'm very much analytical. I like processes. I like rules, and I like people to do the right thing.
yep.
Okay, so I respected that, but then you get into bureaucracies, Jesse, and you
I
know as
know.
well as I do, there's not a lot of rule following going on in most organizations.
No.
Favoritism, nepotism, flat out stuff that you don't want to be caught doing.
Yep.
And it's everywhere. It's not indicative of any gender, race, religion. It's just it's people. So I kept getting this. Oh, my dad always told me, Tracy, you can work for somebody else or you can work for yourself. But as long as you work for somebody else, you're always going to hit this wall. And I tell people, they're like, was it the glass ceiling? And I'm like, no, it was the jackass ceiling. Okay.
Wow.
Because there's, I had a lot of great men in my life and I had like a lot of great women and there's a couple idiots every here and there, but welcome to life. There's
Right.
idiots everywhere. You just, when you find them, you steer clear of them. But it just really, he really taught me until you own what you're doing, you're always going to sit there after, and I tell people after the 6 month honeymoon period where you go, what am I doing here? And am I really free to serve in this position in the greatest capacity?
Mm.
And you heard my background. I went from job to vocation. I lived all over the world, different industries, thinking, no, this is it. No, this is it. No, the defense of the country. No, changing the world with technology. No, the National Security Agency. And eventually it would be like, yay. And then I'm like, it's the same crap, different day. And I had to really go, what is the purest and highest use of my time? What is the greatest platform? And all this was happening as my father was succumbing to cancer.
Mm.
And I pivoted on pain. I tell people, don't pivot with purpose. But I pivoted with pain. And I was so tired and burnt out, Jesse, after 20 years of running around trying to do the right thing, making more money, but feeling unbelievably just empty and like, this isn't doing it for me.